Wonderful Pistachios. Let me tell you something, dude. I got a box of these wonderful pistachios and yummy in my tummy, dude. I was covered in pistachio shells. I loved it. They've come out of their shells. They got the same delicious taste, but with a little less work for you. Less cracking, more snacking. They don't have the shells. They've de-shelled all the pistachios. So you're just eating just pure pistachio nuts. I loved it. Spice lovers go nuts. It's time to get spicy with wonderful pistachios' newest no shells flavor, jalapeno lime. My kids loved them. Like, legitimately loved them. They actually came to the house when I was on the road. They sent like 5 packages of it. When I got home, there was half a package left of pistachios because my kids were just little pistachio monsters. They're crazy. They're pistachio psychos. Next time you're shopping for snacks and you are craving something crunchy and satisfying, ditch the bag of chips and grab wonderful pistachios, no shells. Your body and taste buds will thank us. R.I.P. taste buds. Wait, are the cameras rolling? Yeah. Thank you. We got these nice jerseys. Sam and I from the beautiful people here at Cesars Palace, and they gave us this nice whiskey. The only problem is the only fucking thing I drink is Bodega Cat.
Bodega Cat whiskey.
So the only gift I'll ever accept is more Bodega Cat. I'm kidding. Thank you.
Whiskey now available in the tri-state area, baby.
That's what it is, folks. And Sam and I will sign this and sell this bottle for $37 after the show.
Chris, should we go out in the Ewing jerseys tonight?
I kind of want to go out in the Ewing jerseys, but my upper arms feel fat. That's the issue. I would go out in them if I didn't have upper arm fat. That's the only thing I can't get rid of.
I think this is your kids have some Puerto Rican, but so do you. Complaining about the upper arm fat.
No, Jazz. I'm always asking Jazz if I have upper arm fat, and she's always saying something to me in Spanish.
You look big.
You think that?
Yeah.
Well, I'm on a mix of fentanyl and Ozempic.
Well, the fentanyl's winning, buddy.
Yes. Thank you.
You know, I'm right next door to Chrissy upstairs.
Yeah.
So I'm literally hearing him like yelling with his kids. I'm like, oh, this is the person I normally hate.
Yeah.
But I know where it's coming from now.
Yeah.
Beautiful, yeah.
But somehow he could stay hard while he was jerking it.
You know what?
He likes a good family chatter. To really get him off.
He was like, let me go to he's putting the search engine family porn.
Sure.
Kids screaming.
Well, my Wi-Fi didn't work, so it worked out perfectly. But hey, cheers.
Cheers, buddy.
Cheers. Enjoy.
To everyone, Chrissy Chaos, welcome. We're here live from Cesars Atlantic City. We're about to do a show here in about 45 minutes. We got the whole crew. We got
That's
Sam
good.
Morril.
Take a sip, buddy.
Yes, here it is. Gary Vider's here. We got John the Father. We got Vito Baby Teeth. James Mad Dog Mattern. Patty Clips filling in for a very depressed James Webb. And we have got the crew. Patty Clips got a new haircut. He kind of looks retarded.
Oh, geez, Patty.
That's what it is. No, smooth. Patty Clips is smooth from Lebanon. We also have our lawyer here,
He
Seth
looks
Horowitz.
British with that haircut a little
He does look British.
That's like a British guy.
Yo, Patty looks like Adele right now. We got our legal team, Seth Horowitz, here, just in case shit gets out of control.
Yeah.
We got our legal team. We got our lawyer, Seth Horowitz, here in case Gary's dad shows up and sues him for the new pod.
I know, yeah, you never know.
Gary's dad.
Gary, is this Ewing jersey bringing back like childhood trauma for you?
Oh my God, this is awesome. I mean, Chris was talking about not wearing jerseys, but I mean, I've never worn a jersey. Like, I mean, I would put on the T-shirt, hands down, every single time. So as far as bringing back childhood memories, though, yeah, I mean, I loved Ewing. That
Ewing
my
was the
team.
man.
Ewing was the guy.
So I can't get over that, but yeah, that's the best.
My very first game I ever went to, Knicks game, it was Knicks Magic.
Yeah.
And Patrick Ewing like two-hand dunked I think it was like in Shaq's face. And I was a little 8-9-year-old kid. And I got up in the middle of the stands, and because he swung from the rim, it was like cool. And I was like, "Dad, he's swinging from the rim like a monkey." And I went, ooh, ooh, ooh. And my dad went, "All right." And I just like sat there. He was like rubbing my head, but I didn't mean anything, of course.
You know it's bad when your dad was like, "You got to dial back that racism."
Yeah. My dad, his nickname is Tony Balls.
No, Ewing was the fucking truth, man.
He
that
was.
guy and fucking young Orlando Shaq. That was crazy, man.
Dude, it was Penny. It was the very first game I went to. Magic Nick and the Penny Hardaway.
Remember the Penny Hardaway Chris Rock commercials?
Oh, some of the best.
Those were like back in the day, comics getting some cool ads.
It's Tyra Banks, fool. Come on.
Little Penny.
Little Penny, dude.
Little Penny, bro.
But yeah, I love it.
I could just imagine Chris Rock messing up a take and Penny Hardaway walking up and slapping him.
Started early, man.
Yeah, man. Started early. Love, shout out Chris Rock. Shout out Vito's legs. Vito's got shorts on. I've actually never seen Vito's calves.
It looks good.
Dude, Vito deadlifts like 400 pounds.
Yeah, dude, what did you just get off the Appalachian Trail? Look at you. This is unbelievable. Look at those calves. You're shredded.
Look at that. Yeah, Vito's good. Vito's wife is out of town, so Vito wants to take the trip up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be a good time tonight. I'm happy. James, I was with James and I just came from Europe. Then James went and saw Bruce Springsteen in Madrid
by myself,
by his damn self.
No one spoke any English in that arena, that stadium, and yet they knew the word to every first verse. Unbelievable. And then the second verse comes, I look at him, no one does any lyrics, and they all looked at me like, what do you expect? We don't really speak this. It was unbelievable. Greatest show ever.
You started off the trip in Amsterdam, and then you ended it in Spain.
I mean,
so guys, which way did you go? Hooker or Anne Frank house in Amsterdam? Which way?
I went to the Hooker and Anne Frank. And
never dressed up like
he actually combined it. He hit the red light district, banged the hooker, then wrote in his diary about it.
I mean, come on, does it get better than this?
I love it, baby.
All right, I gotta get ready.
Oh yeah, that's right. James, we got James opening the show. Then Gary Vider, our Gary V.
Guy who pretends he has to get ready, like he's not doing the same 15 he's been doing.
I mean, maybe I will.
That's what it is, baby.
Remember saying your next performer doesn't talk to his dad anymore? Oh, sorry.
Yeah. I mean, that's a couple of us. But yeah.
Well, if Gary's leaving, you got to check out his podcast, man.
No, don't leave.
No,
Gary.
he's leaving. I got like 5.
All right, Gary will hang.
James, you're gonna go. What's the plan when you get out there? You're gonna go big. You're gonna go medium. What are you gonna do? You're gonna curse. You're gonna call them pieces of shit, liberal fucks. What are you gonna do?
I had a girl call me a liberal fuck the other day.
Did she?
She just texted me. Why haven't you text me? I go, well, I shouldn't have led with liberal and then finished with cuck.
She called you a liberal fuck?
She's kind of crazy too.
Yeah.
This girl.
Does that turn you on or no?
What's that?
Does that turn you on when she calls you a liberal cuck?
Of course. I love it. I'd like to change her vote tonight, in bed. She told me...
My fans just call him the same thing. They just change that F to a C.
She told me that she's not crazy. She goes, I don't get depressed. I don't have anxiety. I might have a little daddy issues. Not really. And she goes, she wishes she was crazy because she'd be able to keep a man if she was crazy because guys like... crazy women, and I go, that's the most insane thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
But I think it's true because if a woman's too well adjusted, I am a little bored.
Right.
I don't think I've ever dated a woman without daddy issues.
Right.
Have you?
But she's also lying. We already know that.
It's out of control.
You want to go live? Go live. Yeah, I don't give a shit. James, you leaving?
Chrissy Chaos is pretty crazy.
It's wild, dude. We just go. All right, James. Well, James is going to get out there. We're going to start this show, and be prepared. Oh, if you ever come to any of our shows and you see James, always try to get seats behind the stage because you will see the top of his ass crack. I've seen the top of James's ass crack more than dude. I've seen the top of James's ass crack more than I've seen my daughter's ass cracks.
Well, what are you gonna do?
How much time am I doing? Or is
this is the episode Chris loses custody. Let me tell you how many times I've seen my daughter's ass crack.
Episode
title: Daughter's ass crack.
I need to know how much time I'm doing.
No, I mean, James will do 10, 15?
I think 12 each.
You do 12?
Because there's a double headline.
We'll do 30 each? Or what do we do?
35
each?
And then we'll fuck around a little
And we'll come out together, right? At the end?
Well, you already came out, I thought.
That's it, true. I'll bring
Chaz licking your asshole? You're out.
I saw it, by the way. I saw Chaz's one-man show. I saw it in Jersey just last week. It's incredible.
Chaz Palminteri.
Sometimes I like to call Jazz Palminteri. She gets upset. And then I'll lock her in and I'll say, now you can't leave.
That movie's so fucking good,
dude. It was. So good. We went. Jazz and I actually went to his. At Tribeca Film Festival, there's a thing called De Niro Con. Have you seen this? De Niro Con, right? So Chaz's one-man show was a part of De Niro Con. It was filmed as like a movie by a homeless pimp and that crew, Three Nuts Production. And
it's better than Spacey Con. That's when he invites you to his hotel room. That's the con.
And dude, I met Spacey once like 5 years ago. I was with Jazz at a hotel in Washington, D.C. We were doing like some benefit with Cal Ripken, and Spacey was just telling these wild fucking jokes. And this was before anything happened with Spacey. But
I know someone who filmed movies.
Me
with
and Jazz
Spacey,
kind of
yeah.
liked him though. We kind of were
Right.
like, this
Oh,
guy's
dude,
pretty
he's-
fucking awesome.
I mean,
One of the
charming
most-
guy.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's always funny when people are like, "Yeah, one of the best entertainers ever." Charming. Yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
that's his bread and butter.
I woke up hogtied in his bathtub. I didn't give a shit.
I know someone who two Spacey things. I know someone who was in a ton of movies with him, or in a couple movies with him, and he's in one movie with him. I don't know why I built that up so much, but he was in a movie with him, and I go, "Did he try to hook up with you ever?" And he goes, "Yeah." And I said, "But did he? But like, did it bother you?" He goes, "No, I just said to stop, and he stopped." And I was like, "Well, I guess when you're higher up, it's easier to do that." But I remember I was on Jim Norton's show. It was like a news story when John Bernthal was like, it was like the story that broke it, I think, where he was like, "That guy's a fucking asshole." And that just became a news story.
Wow.
So I think that's like what started the turn on him.
Yeah, so that's why you're still talking shit about him.
Yeah, but I
press.
got to be honest with you. I understand what he's saying, John Bernthal, the Punisher, about that Kevin Spacey story. But I once was playing pickup basketball in Park Slope, and John Bernthal wouldn't shoot around with me when I was asking to shoot around with him. So he's a fucking asshole.
Wait, why not?
No, I don't know. He was just like working on his game, and I was like, "Oh, do you mind if I didn't even realize it was John Bernthal." And then I was like, "Oh, can I just like?" Because there was like, "No, of course." I was like, "Can I just shoot around over here too?" And he was like, "Oh man, I'm sorry, I'm just kind of doing like a little workout here." He was actually very nice and polite about it. But I was also like, I was Division III All-Star. I'll fucking smoke you.
Yeah.
How was his game?
He actually was really good. He actually was pretty
seems
cool.
like a pretty cool guy,
And he had a
yeah.
nice tight bod.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
What'd you
whispering
do?
in his ear. I was like, I'm Chris.
And he's like in his 50s. He like looks younger.
He's actually a
doing
cool
great.
guy.
Yeah, he's one of those dudes that you're like, I don't think Hitler would have been able to stop that type of Jew.
No.
Right.
If we loaded up a bunch of Bernthals, I think we would have had a good shot
Yeah.
at stopping Hitler.
Dude, I've been
earlier.
watching this new Hitler thing on Netflix. Have
It's
you
good.
seen?
It's
like,
good.
It's like Hitler in color.
Right.
It's like it's pretty.
It's like how Tupac always has like new songs. Hitler always comes out with new shit too.
Well, because I always think about like they do these World War II documentaries, and I'm like, how do they keep finding like new
More
ways
Hitler.
Right.
More,
By the way, I love that Netflix is like, for me and Chris are like, we're out of money, and they're like, new Hitler,
New Hitler.
Let's bring back Hitler.
They're like, hey, like trans stuff, blah blah blah. No Chappelle, more Hitler.
Dude, I want to do a joke about this, about how I was watching the new Hitler thing with a couple of friends, and one of my friends was like, "You know who'd be a great Hitler is Kevin Spacey with a look." And my other friend was like, "Yeah, but he's canceled, right?" And I was like, "He can't play Hitler." Like that's how fucking canceled he is, you know?
That's the guy you want to play. Get Harvey Weinstein out here to play Hitler.
That should be how you work your way back. You got to
Right.
play like a worse dude.
Yeah,
Right.
piece of shit, dude.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. Watch it, like the Nuremberg trials. Are you guys?
It's interesting,
Where
yeah.
they're putting like these Nazis on trial, and they're like,
You did a bad thing.
Yeah,
and
they're like,
we
to,
didn't-
they're
yeah.
like to Goring, who was like his like second
Yeah.
guy, like the head of the Luftwaffe. They're like, are you guilty of killing 6 million Jews? Guilty or not guilty? And he's like, not guilty.
And they're like, oh,
It sounds like the worst villain in there is.
oh no, dude, they're so evil, and
Yeah.
it's amazing that they're just like. It's also amazing that they get a trial even.
Yeah.
Like it's like better than they did to anyone else. But
Yeah.
you know, that's what civilized cultures do.
Yeah, it's fucking like so like in. I mean, listen, like you said, it's good that they have a trial, but it's funny that these guys are just standing there being like. All of them are like, not the one guy's like, no, I'm not guilty. And then they like have a pic. They show like a pic. He says not guilty. And then they cut to a picture of him standing with his gun to somebody's head on their knees, like blowing his brains out. He's like, I never killed anybody. And they're like, we have the picture. You signed
we
it.
don't have a lot of technology, and we still have photographs of this.
Yeah, this is the 1940s, and I could still see you clear as day. But
No,
it's
pretty
fascinating.
crazy, and it's also crazy to see all the pawns in there who just kind of went along with it.
Oh, yeah.
and didn't know.
Yeah, and they're. I mean, they probably had to. I mean, you think about it. They're going through that. They're just doing it. But I mean, obviously, they could have chosen the right way too. A lot of people didn't.
Well, a lot
do
of
that.
people tried to leave. You know, I think it was in the Ken Burns one where they talk about Anne Frank's father, Otto, trying to get asylum, and they talk about this in the one you were just talking about too. The boat that left Germany of all the Jews, and they go to Cuba, and they were supposed to get, help there, and they were just like, nah.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God. And then they try to go to America and they're like, nah. So then they just have to take the boat back to fucking Germany.
Right.
We're
That's it.
back.
But so we have all these trials to like show that we're civilized. But then when it came time to build rockets, they take the German scientists and they bring them over to the U.S. to start NASA, and then same with like Russia
Huntsville,
also.
baby.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, Huntsville is just filled with that stuff. So yeah, they just take that and it's just whatever benefits any
Well, you
country.
take the best of the
They'll take
best
it.
over. That's what we always do. That's why America's number one. We take the best of
the
your
best.
of
I
your
love, and then we picked
villains.
Huntsville. I love where Americans were like, you know, who would do good mixing with the Klan? The Nazis. Let's make a super bug. Dude, these jerseys are awesome, but
Yeah,
I don't know
those are
that I could. Would you wear a half blue, half orange jersey?
To the Puerto Rican parade, maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know where the hell are we wearing this.
that's true. I know. My daughter's right in. They're like, Papi.
No, it's very cool. I mean,
It is cool.
You know what we should do one day? If we both go to a game together and we wore that together, that'd be pretty dope.
Yes, that would be good if I could just lose this upper arm fat.
Yeah, dude, you're like ripped.
I know. I'm kidding. No, I'm one of those.
I know you, but you fluctuate, but you look great right now.
I'm a
bro.
lot better than I
You looked
have.
horrible like a few months ago, but now you look.
Thank you.
At this
I
moment,
was
you
gonna
look
say, I was gonna say
okay.
something. I was worried.
Worried.
Yeah, you
well,
were
dude, I was
fat,
taking
dude.
creatine, thinking it's just gonna get me, and then I gained like 15 pounds on creatine, so I stopped taking it.
Fat?
I thought
It's water-
I was
a lot of
telling
water
myself
weight,
it was
right?
muscle, but I knew it was bad because like Mike Cannon, who's like one of my best friends, like we worked together and everything. Even he was like, "Hey, I think you're starting to get a little puffy," and he would never say that. I was like, "Oh no!"
You were like, you're fired from Chrissy Chaos.
Yeah, fuck you, man.
Yeah, dude.
But I know I stopped taking it. So I think like a lot of us try to do these things where like you want to take tests, you want to take it's like the bottom line is just try to eat right and work out as much as you can, and that's really all we can fucking
And drink Bodega Cat. It's healthy stuff.
That's what it is.
Isn't it smooth though?
Dude, I would drink Bodega Cat over that Johnny Walker all day.
I like this is what Christopher Hitchens used to drink.
Yeah,
He was a Johnny Walker black guy.
Who's
and
that pussy?
he just drops names and I just say yeah.
Yeah,
I know.
yeah.
You
I
don't
know
know
that
who Christopher Hitchens is?
I don't know.
He was like the brilliant atheist. He was a you should watch him on
Brilliant atheist. I love that's like a new magician. The brilliant atheist.
I don't know.
Look him up. I mean, you
Yeah.
know who he is.
I'll look him up after I
I'll
get
see
through
it,
episode
yeah.
3
Public speaker,
of Nazis in Color.
Dude, you definitely know Chris Hitchens. He was an
I'm probably
author.
sure
He
I heard
wrote a
him.
ton of books. He was awesome.
Yeah.
I'm sure I've heard of him.
I'm an idiot.
Yeah,
I don't know offense.
I'm one of those guys too. I don't really know any of that. I don't know like films. He'll quote films all the time. I have no idea what he's talking
I
about.
learned most
But
of
I
my
take
films
his
from
word
him.
for it.
Yeah.
I bet you still haven't seen the original Taking the Pelham 1, 2, 3, have
I
you?
haven't.
Please see
I
it.
haven't.
It's the most you movie ever.
But I have seen Moana for the 28th time.
Fucking kids, man.
Dude.
You guys are fathers.
When you opened the door and you saw my family, were you like, oh boy?
Well, you're
Sam
going to have someone to take care of you when you die, and I'll be able to quote Bullets Over Broadway. So we all make our choice, I guess.
He opened the door. He rang my
Right.
bell to my room and like was filming it, like hoping to see like me come out do a bit. And it was just my entire family just ran out of the house. We had to
It
go-
was just jazz, and I was like, take your top off. Trying to do one of those like MILF Hunter videos.
Obviously, your family's here.
I'm like, you look really hot.
take your top off.
No, but then
Your
she redid
your
it.
family's here. It's great, but it's like, isn't it so exhausting
Oh
though?
my
On top
God.
of everything, that you're getting
Why do
everybody
you think
ready.
we're doing a podcast? You think he wants to hang out with these people?
No.
He's doing everything. he
Well,
can
you know
not
what it
to.
was? It was one of those things where so Vito and John came over this morning to get this camera equipment, and Jazz was while we were all in the house this morning. Jazz was like, maybe we won't go. Like even Delilah would like ran over to me. She's like, "Mom-"
Chris's dick is growing.
Yeah, she was like, she doesn't want to go. She doesn't want to go. Mommy doesn't want to go. And I was like, oh, I was like, we'll talk about it later, or whatever. And I was like, you guys really don't want to go? I was like, all right. I was like, you know what? I'll go. I'll come right back. Like whatever, make it believe
Yeah.
like I was all upset. And then like I thought they weren't going. And I
You
was
thought
like,
you were home free, dude.
I was like going to start texting them like, let's meet, let's go get drunk, let's get hookers, and they were let's go to the strip club at fucking Nude. I'll go to Atlantic City right now. And then at the last minute, I see Jazz like putting on like her clothes to leave. I was like, are you getting dressed? You guys gonna go to the store? She's like, no, stupid, we're coming with you. Isn't that what you wanted? I was like, yeah.
I see those acting classes are paying off.
Thank you. You see it in my
Yeah,
sitcom.
great.
And so, but no, it is nice that, you know what it is? You know, it's not like it's hard now, but once the show's over and like tonight, like after we hang, it's nice to like have your family with you because then you just miss
sure.
them the whole time,
Yeah,
right?
we'll be having fun on the strip, and you guys will be watching Moana for a 29th time.
I could deal with a day. A day I'm
One
good
day,
with. Yeah.
and we drove here today, and then we're
That'll
going
be
home
nice.
tomorrow.
That'll be nice.
It is nice. Getting them on a plane to do like if I had like a 5-show comedy club weekend, no,
No,
Can't
it's
do that.
brutal. But one show, this is kind of like we have agents here, and it's like, it's actually fun that Gab is here. It's like fun that we have our people. Because for one night, one show, it's not that stressful.
No,
Yeah.
The 5-show weekends where we're like having to work on material. Those are like work weekends where you're like, I need to make the most of these reps.
And we're co-headlining. I kind of feel like we're all kind of doing like our little part. It kind of feels like if you went to Catholic school, you'd understand this. Like when you have to wear a uniform every day, and then you have a dress down day, and it kind of doesn't even feel like school's real that day. That's what this show feels like. Where I'm kind of like, do good, don't do good, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We're just all having fun.
Gary's leaving, so can I say something about Gary? His new podcast is incredible.
It really is.
You should all listen to Gary's podcast and his new special, which I produced on YouTube, which is excellent. Could be worse. And his podcast, Number One Dad, which is about his dad who was a con man and just crazy childhood stories.
Yeah, we haven't spoken in 24 years, and then
Still haven't spoken? Open the door. Come on. Hey, if you want to see Gary talk to his dad for the first time in 24 years, go to patreon.com/Chrissy Monetize it.
It's just Chaz Palminteri opening the door. Like,
Could you imagine he comes in? He starts talking. That'd be so
I wouldn't
fun.
put it past you.
Yeah.
No, but I
He
might.
gives you the door test.
That we keep. The door test. Yeah, we could do. Here's the thing with my dad. The whole podcast is trying to track him down, trying to figure out what he's up to today after 24 years, and then maybe I do talk to him in it, maybe I don't. But it's kind of the cliffhanger of the podcast.
Has he heard? Has he heard about the pod through the grapevine? You think?
I mean, I'm sure he could hear anything, so it's very possible.
Did he do jail time, or that will give it a?
As through I go through the podcast to figure that out.
It's worth the journey, man, and it's like a 30 for 30 in production quality.
It looks amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible.
Yeah, it's one of those ones that like when I saw like the post for it, I was like, a lot of times you just watch like 10 seconds of a clip and then you're like, all right, move on to the next thing. I watched the whole clip.
Oh, thank you.
I was like, yeah.
But yeah, you could listen to it. It's
so funny that that's a compliment these days.
Yeah.
That's how bad our attention span is.
Yeah.
I watched the whole minute and 10 seconds, Gary.
of your production, dude.
We had the trailer. Actually, Patty Clips put together that trailer.
Did he? Yeah.
He did a great job. And then you could hear it on
great.
Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts.
I'm proud of you, man. It's so good, and his
Thank you,
special's
guys.
so good too. So I hope you guys.
Thank you.
He put out 2 big things. Both were like 12 years in the making. So
Yeah, no, it took forever. Well, actually,
Wait, no.
my dad. Yeah,
12
my dad's
years in the making?
No. But my
I'm fucking
dad's
with
thing.
him.
I mean, there was 24 years of damage.
Yeah.
Jesus.
basically, yeah.
yeah,
But yeah,
that's why he lost his hair.
Yeah.
But I do look like the guy from Hot Ones, so that's good. All right, there you go. All right, see you boys.
You really do. Holy shit.
We love you, dude. We'll
Later,
see you in a
Gary.
few minutes. Kill it, Garissimo.
Good stuff. Gary's wearing low socks where it looks like he's wearing no socks. That's the last thing I want to see when I'm going on stage is Gary's ankles.
Dude, this is fun, man.
I know. You know what? I feel like it was one of those things where like I haven't really been on the road too much. I've just been like home, kind of chilling, doing some other stuff. But I'm like excited about this tonight. Like I'm excited to go on. I'm excited to be
pumped
here.
we're doing a few gigs together too.
I know.
Because like we're in the same place. We both burned an hour.
Yeah.
We both have to kind of start building back up. And we have the same agent who was kind of like, hey, would you want to go out with Chris? And I was
like that.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it'd be fun.
And then the next ones we're going to be with Nimesh.
Nimesh Patel.
Nimesh Patel, yeah.
I just mansplained his pronunciation to you.
Yeah. Nimesh.
Nimesh.
This episode of Chrissy Chaos is sponsored by BetterHelp. Listen, we all do it. We all compare ourselves to others. Social media, that's kind of what it's there for, right? It's put right in front of our faces to make us feel as though we're not doing enough, to make us think that we need to strive for more, just crushing anxiety. What am I not doing? Why is my life not this? So what do? We get the help we need. Go to betterhelp.com, guys. Comparison is the thief of joy, and it's easy to envy other people's lives. It might look like they have it all together on their Instagram, but in reality, we know they're suffering just like us, or at least that's what we're hoping for. And even that hope, that's cause enough to get help. So if I've benefited personally from therapy. I have. And BetterHelp specifically, because they match the therapist to your specific needs. So you fill out the online questionnaire. It's very easy. There's no uncomfortable in-person conversation. You can really answer authentically and honestly because you're on the computer. And then you're paired with a therapist. If you like that person, great, you found a match. If not, you can move on to the next one, until you find one that is perfectly suited for you. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's a fantastic way to introduce yourself into this world and to get the help you need. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Again, like I said, just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Stop comparing and start focusing with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com. That's BetterHelp.com/chaos today to get 10% off your first month. That's betterhelp.com/chaos for 10% off your first month. No living, breathing therapist is going to give you that deal. Do it online. BetterHelp.com.
Nimesh.
It might be Nimesh. I might be making that up.
Yeah. So he'll be great to have around, and man, his
That was as convincing as Jazz coming to these games.
yeah.
That'll be nice to have him around.
Yeah, I
It'll
can't
be a
wait to
fun
walk
hang.
around with Nimesh Patel around Hammond, Indiana. I can't wait to walk around with a man like Nimesh around the state of Indiana.
The
Should be fun.
birthplace of the Klan.
Yeah, that'll be a fun pod. We should do that pod. We should do outdoors. We'll just walk around and see what people say to Nimesh. Honestly, this Bodega Cat whiskey is truly amazing.
It's good, right?
Yeah, and
I'm
we're
proud
drinking
of
this
it.
shit straight up.
The new batch is even better. This is 2 years aged whiskey. The new batch, which is already out, is going to be 3 years, so it's even smoother.
Smooth.
And we're doing like a sherry port cask. We're gonna fucking mix it up, do crazy shit, dude.
Dude, why the hell not? Why can't
I do love having some good whiskey.
Do you like somebody just knock on the door, John? Yeah. Who the hell is that?
Probably Vito.
Oh, Vito, get back in here, Vito. What is this? Oh, hold on.
What is it?
Zoom.
It's a drawing?
John, can you zoom in on his butt?
Me, you, Mom, and Violet at the beach. Oh, this is beautiful, dude.
It's me drowning. Aw, that was Delilah.
That's
did that.
nice.
Let me see.
It's kind of dark though. It's gray and black. Can we get some pleasant colors for a kid? This is like
well, my daughter's colorblind. Imagine this is how we find out. She's like, "Look at all these beautiful colors, Dad." I'm like, "Can we somebody get her to the eye doctor?" It is. So you're saying you do? Look, I love how she put me in blackface. Do you want kids or you don't want kids?
I would have kids. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think it's gonna happen at the right time. But yeah, I do think it'd be nice. Yeah.
Are you a guy that you don't mind if you had a kid at like 50, it'd be fine?
I don't think that would be ideal. I think you get tired as you get older, and we already are pretty run down. So,
but at this
I
point,
think I'm 37. I'd like to do it while I'm still. I'd like to be able to go to the park and shoot around if I have a boy.
so at this point, at
or a
37,
Caitlin Clark-esque girl.
at 37, you don't feel like it's already getting late. Like if you have a kid at 40, you're
getting
good.
late. Of course, I mean, like by New York City standards, maybe it's not that late, but by like the Midwest, I should have had like 4 by now. You know?
I know, dude. By Midwest, yeah, it's like a grandpa by now.
Yeah, I should be. So yeah, no, of course it's getting late. I'm not getting any younger.
Yeah, but you don't worry about it.
We went. Well, yeah, I don't have time to worry about it. We went in all in on our careers, and like one reason was like you're not with the right person, and then on top of it, you're giving everything to the road. You give everything to your career because you just feel like you don't have a choice,
Right.
So you get to a point where you're like, I'm not a good parent if I'm on the road 45 weeks a year.
Right.
I mean, that's why you cut down, right?
Well, that's why I cut down. So that
Yeah.
it's one of those things where it's like I had to choose. Like I was like, you know what? I'll do less road. I'll do less, but. Because I just have to be home. Because I was trying to do it. Because like I got to make, Jazz stay-at-home mom. So I was like, I got to do this. But then I was gone like 35, 40 weeks. And I was like, yeah, I made money, but I'm like so depressed. And my kids were like, we'd rather have you home.
They forgot your name.
Exactly,
It was dark.
dude. Yeah. I know. I went home and there was like another guy. They were like, wait, I thought Ramon was our dad. And I'm like, well, it's not that he's not. It's just...
I tried to get Ramon for this gig, but his material's just not there yet. But we're working on it.
We're working on it. Well, dude,
Ramon's great.
It's funny. I went into the St. Mark's Comedy Club the other day. Shout out St. Mark's. Actually, was a fun room there. No, it was like a really hot night, and like they had AC on in there, but they like can't. Like it just doesn't pump that well, and you were like dripping sweat. Like it kind of just felt like it was like just like a fun like room, right? Everyone's hot, but it was like everybody was killing. And then Jazz's ex Tristan is they have a son. It's my stepson's dad. He does stand up now.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, so I saw him.
How good does that feel?
Yeah.
You must feel so good because you're always threatened by the ex, but now you're like, well, I'm clearly better than you at this.
Well, no, he's actually like, I get what you mean, but he actually is like really, really cool. But it was fun to like kind of like be there, like hanging out together, and then like
it's fun for him to get off and be like, you'll get there, kid.
Yeah.
That's gotta feel nice.
I guess it's more fun to be in my position. Yes. And then
you have the girl in the stand-up.
Yeah.
You did well.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd much rather be you.
Yeah. I know. I pulled all these strings to get my stepson into like this great high school. It was just, that's true. Yeah, I am winning big. No.
No, you
no,
didn't
I did. No, my stepson's going to
You
really
love
good.
your stepson.
Oh my God, I love.
Do you like being a stepdad too?
You know what it is? I do. I love. In the beginning, I've always loved it, but in the beginning, it was hard to kind of figure out how do I show my biological child and my stepchild like the same amount of love. Like it's really it's hard because there's times where it's like
I'm the product of a blended family, so I think my stepdad, both my brother and sister, are step siblings, and like. It's difficult. I think I could see him working to include me, and he did a great job. I mean,
But my stepmom said something to me amazing when I first had my daughter. Because when I first had my daughter with Jazz, you know, she already had a son, so I was becoming a father. I was already a stepfather, becoming a father. And you know, the day my daughter was born, she was like, you know, like this is gonna be great. She was like, but let me just like remind you, because she was my stepmom for 30 years. She was like, being a step parent is the most thankless job in the history of jobs. You will do everything, and you will never. Nobody will say thank you. Nobody will really appreciate it.
I have a bit about this.
She was like, but it's fine. You do it anyway. So I always that's how I feel right now. I'm like, I'll do everything for him. He never has to say thank you because that's not. It's a fine.
I have a bit about this about how you it's a newer premise, but like I heard a kid in the street complain about his stepdad, and I just wanted to walk up to him and go, guess what? He didn't want this either.
Yeah.
There's no guy who's like, someday I'll raise the kid of the guy who came in the woman that I love. And that'll be easy.
Right.
It's fucking hard.
It's hard, bro.
It's thankless. And you know, I think, you know, there were times where I said shit to my stepdad, who I call dad because he's my dad, but like there were times I said shit that I really regret saying because I was a kid and we would fight.
Yeah.
You know? But you look up now, it's like you know, he did the work. I mean, he wanted to be my dad, and I mean, I remember changing my name. My last name was Greenberg.
Yeah.
I would have been Sam Greenberg.
Oh my God.
But I remember, oh my God, I'm already so Jewy. Can you imagine if that was my name? I'm Sam Greenberg.
Hitler just popped out of his grave like the Undertaker.
Like, he just got out. He comes out. But dude, I remember like changing my name, having to learn to spell Morril, you know, like being like, you know, 5-6 years old, whatever. And but he wanted me. He's like, I want you to be my son. I'm going to legally adopt you. And
right.
And yeah, so you go to like, he's a lawyer. He's like, we have to go to court. We have to go to City Hall, and you'll be my son. So he made a real point that like, no, I'm not your stepdad. I'm your dad. Mm-hmm. You know. So, but it's different because Tristan, as you said, he's still in the picture.
Yeah.
Whereas my biological dad wasn't in the picture. So it wasn't like, you know.
Right. If Tristan's dad wasn't in the picture, I would have legally adopted. Maybe I should just kill Tristan's dad so I can legally adopt him. So it'll, because you know, no, I'm kidding. Because he's pretty jacked. If he's heard this, he's
a big dude.
Oh my God, he's a monster. Yeah, he's huge.
Why does he think he should be a stand-up?
He actually is pretty funny.
Maybe.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know why he supposedly something he's always.
You can't be that jacked and be a good comic.
He's fucking jacked. But
how much do you think he could bench?
He posts it. He does like 190 dumbbells. That's sick.
Wait, like
190 each hand.
I didn't
He's
even know.
big
But
boy.
this is what a pussy am. I didn't even know they went that high.
Yeah.
Oh wait, 190?
Yeah, he does two Gary Viters in each hand.
Gary Vito's not 190.
I know that dainty bitch.
He wishes he was 190.
Gary's
like pretty. Like I know he's small, but he looks pretty good with a shirt off.
He's ripped.
That was the whole thing. Is like we got into a fight with a woman at the airport once, and
that's so funny.
No, dude, this woman was abusing TSA. So we were coming back from Columbus, Ohio, and this woman was just yelling at a TSA agent. She goes, you were so bad at your job. Just this like awful woman. Ugh. And Gary and I just looked at each other like, it was like 2 minutes of this. And we looked at each other like, this is like insane. Should we do something? I was like, yeah. So we walk up to her. I go, hey lady, shut up. And she turns around like, and Gary goes, you're a moron. No one likes you. We just start trashing her. She's got 2 kids with her and we're just beating up on her. And she finally just turns to Gary and goes, oh yeah, well you're short. And then Gary goes, you should see me with my shirt off. And I was like, dude, we had her. What the hell? She was on the ropes. It was over. And it was one of the things where like the lady loved us for it. But then we got through TSA. It was an early morning flight. And we were like, damn, that was like a cup of coffee. That wakes you the fuck up.
Fuck up. That'd be so funny. He takes his shirt off and nobody's impressed. TSA's like, keep all your garments on your person. Put all cell phones and laptops in the tray. Put your shirt back on. Come through the metal.
He's shirtless. He's crying. He's
Yeah, it was all pasty. She's like, you need to get a suntan. Hope your ass going to Bermuda.
I love him.
Dude, you know what? It's have you ever seen like poetic justice happen like in front of like have you ever witnessed it? Like I've witnessed it twice. I actually witnessed it outside the Comedy Cellar. This was about a year and a half ago. Remember the Steve King, the bouncer outside the cellar?
R.I.P.
R.I.P.
Wonderful guy.
Stephen King. He was
That
like
was brutal.
6'8", huge dude, and his name was Steve King.
If you went to the Comedy Cellar for like, I want to say close to like 20 years or so, and you were greeted by like the friendliest guy at the door.
The man, right?
Just
Like,
the kindest person.
truly one of the greatest men you'll ever meet. And so I saw this, right? Two examples. The first one, I saw this drunk kid just being an asshole, right? This like little like white kid, like short and cut. They like just
Picture Gary Vider.
Picture Gary
And-
Vider
no.
with hair. And
Yeah.
so he's going off drinking, you know, like saying stuff to Steve. Steve's like, hey man, like you gotta walk out, you know, like
Yeah.
you gotta leave, you're too drunk, whatever. So keeps going, and then he goes, the kid goes to Steve, he goes, well, you're a N-word.
Oh, shit.
In front of everybody. And we're like, whoa. And then Steve's like, I know you're drunk. I know you don't mean that. Just take a
Wow.
walk. Like I saw the composure. I was like, holy shit,
This
bro.
country needs more of that.
But then,
Wow.
he goes,
Of what Steve said, not the other guy.
yeah.
Let me fucking backtrack that.
And then he says again though. He goes, "Yeah, you're a again."
Jesus.
To him. And Steve goes, "Man, you really gotta go."
Yeah.
And then he went to go take like a step towards him to like, you know, and the kid like backed away. Steve never put his hands on him, nothing, just like to like get him. And then the
The
kid,
kid broke his neck and Steve went to prison.
yeah, no. The kid turned around
Yeah.
and like to start walking,
Yeah.
tripped, fell. I saw it. It had just poured rain. Fell face first into
my
a New York City dirty water puddle. Like, you know, like that black gunk water with like cigarette butts in it and spit. Like a New York City puddle,
Wow.
face first, like just dripping.
Beautiful.
Dude, everybody, and the line was outside the Village Underground, so maybe 400 people saw this.
And they were dying
Oh
laughing.
my God, everybody was dying laughing. Everybody was dying laughing. And then the second time, this actually happened like a few months ago. Delilah, my daughter, was with me. So we parked, right? And kind of like we're blocking a driveway a little bit to go into this really good coffee shop. And there was also a woman getting into her Jeep who was also kind of blocking this garage, but she was pulling out. And the guy was going, it was his driveway. It was like a row of garages. He pulled in. And he goes, get in the car, lady. He goes, you people park here every fucking day. Get in the car. And then she's like, I'm going. Like, she was actually like really nice. She was like, I'm going. And he goes, get in the car, you fat bitch. You're so fucking fat. You should be walking. He goes, you should be walking. You're so fucking fat. And I was like being like, damn. Like even I was like getting my, you know, like,
Yeah.
I was like, fuck this guy, right?
Yeah, you say that in private, not
Yeah, exactly.
publicly. That's
Yeah,
pretty rude.
I mean, I was yelling it too, but I had my windows up.
Of course.
And,
You have-
and so,
there's a way to do it.
Yeah. And so he parks, and then he goes in. He's going into the coffee shop, and I see this. I wasn't even paying attention. Like there was these like 20, 25-year-old kids who had just gotten coffees. One of them got a coffee, and one of them got like some type of like big smoothie. And he waited till the guy was like walking towards him, and he threw it like as hard as he could off his fucking chest and face. Like just fucking like that,
my
bang,
God.
off, like hard, like
Holy
the guy fell
shit.
back. He goes, what if that was my sister? What if that was my sister you just called fat? And then the guy was like, was it? He was like, no. and then he just looked at him, and then the guy just then, he was like, didn't know
What
what
was
to
the size discrepancy between the two guys?
You know what? The guy himself was, like a normal sized guy, probably like in his 30s or 40s. But this kid looked like he was like 20, 25, tall, lanky, like a kid, if he hit you, it would fucking hurt.
Yeah.
Bony, like that. So, but then the guy just went into the coffee store and just waited online with just smoothie all over his chest like an asshole. And I was like, nice.
Wow.
Yeah, dude, poetic justice.
We had one at the Comedy Cellar once where Liz, who's the manager there, who we love, Liz, like
Shout out, Liz.
We go to the Comedy Cellar. Liz is our favorite. She runs the cellar. She runs all the rooms. There's a reason. Such a well-oiled machine. But
yeah.
So sorry.
Come on in, Bubbas.
I need you in about 8 minutes.
What happened? Talk to us. How is it out there, champ?
It's fine.
It's fine. It's kind of
No, I went up. There's like 40%. They got about 90%. I'm going. They don't know what I asked for the clock. They start flashing me. I go, I got this.
Yeah.
And I finished it, and we should be good. Gary's doing good. They're conditioned for jokes. They're going to have a good time.
Any hotties in there?
They played the wrong music. There's a few, baby.
There's a few hot
Yeah.
ones?
Two blonde moms. I don't know who's the mom and who's not with some nervous
Two blonde
kid.
talking
moms,
about
dude.
guys,
hey,
man.
Dude,
Oh,
hey,
sorry.
send Jazzy home. Let's try to figure this out.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is my
Send Vito
family
home. We're gonna get some dudes tonight.
is my family still out there?
Your family's in
What are they
Sam's.
doing?
The girls are playing piano. They got the Rolling Stone shirts. They're musical. They're trying
Right.
to play. Let's spend some time together.
Sit
Right.
down, dude. Sit here for
No, I gotta go. It's 8 minutes, and
Oh, okay,
they're
all
running
right.
the shit.
Oh shit!
baby.
I know. I haven't looked at what you've been getting on stage though, right? You've been
I'm
like
doing-
still
yeah,
on the
I
middle
love
tour.
this.
I should probably look at my notes.
There's a hard
Let me
out
tell you.
to
Let me tell you the
boys.
quick.
There's a hard out.
There will be fines if you guys are on stage past 8:45.
8:45.
So I will flash.
What
you
time
guys
is it
at
right now?
8:40.
What kind of fines?
7:20.
Who knows? But I'm at,
So he's going on at 7:30.
you're going on next, Papa.
No, I know. But when did Gary go on?
Gary went on about 4 minutes ago.
So he's going to get off about
24
24
ish.
And if we get off by 8:45.
Yes.
So maybe we should do 30 and 30.
Let's do 30 and 30.
Let's do 30 and
then
30.
Let's fuck around.
Come
a
on,
little
what's your
bit.
favorite 30 for 30? You don't know Bo.
I
That's
do.
the best
I
one.
got-
Bo, you don't know Bo, and the one with the Mets.
Oh,
I
it's
love
phenomenal.
Doc
4
and
parts.
Daryl. I love Once Brothers.
I don't want to cry
Oh,
anymore.
I
I
like-
have enough in my life.
Drazen Petrovic and Vlade Divac.
No, you know what's the one?
That
You know what it
fucked me
is?
up.
You ready for what it is? Escobar.
Oh,
That's the one.
Unbelievable.
Because I'm not even a soccer guy, and that one fucked me up.
I had money on that match. No.
Dude, you know what I loved? The Magic Johnson one, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't watch that one. I didn't want to cry again. I played basketball this day with tears in my eyes. We all thought he was going to be dead. He's
Dude,
gonna
it's
outlive
kind of
me.
one of those things like does it ever bother you that like, not bother you, but like no one's ever going to get AIDS
Bother's
again.
such a funny word, though.
No one's ever going to get
Yeah.
AIDS again
I
because
was
of
just
prep.
listening to a
People
podcast.
have AIDS, dude.
No.
Yeah, I know
No,
a
they
guy
still
who has
have it, but
AIDS.
nobody, there's really no new cases of AIDS.
You
People
want
are taking
AIDS?
prep.
I can get you AIDS. you
Oh, I
give me,
did?
you give me the end of the day. I'll find a guy to get you AIDS.
I'll give you AIDS.
All right, I got to go.
John's mustache says gay AIDS.
Dude, so with Liz the seller,
All
some
right.
person, Liz is running the fucking line, and this person, you got to show up like 15 minutes early, whatever it is.
Sure.
They show up 15 minutes into the show, and they're like, "We're here for our table." She goes, "Oh, I had to give it away because you weren't
course.
here on time." And they go, "Excuse me." Excuse me, really? You gave that's not possible. And she goes, I'm sorry we had to do that. And they just start berating her again and again. So finally I'm there for the whole thing. And I just go, I know she doesn't want me to jump in, but I'm like, I'm gonna jump in. So I go, hey Liz, that table just opened up though in the back though, right? And they're like, really? A table opened up? I'm like, no, it didn't. You don't get a table, you fucking idiots. And Liz just starts losing it laughing. And she was like, I hate you. So they walked away furious. And
Yeah.
she goes, I hate you for doing that. But that was
and
pretty
then
fun.
the guy turned around and goes, you should see me with my shirt off. It was Gary Vider, everybody. All right, let me go prepare. We'll
Go prep.
pause on this. Yeah, hey, prep. We'll
And then, so you do 30, I'll do 30, and then let's do like 15 at the end.
do 15
They're
at
not
the end.
I've been down to the show. They're not going to find us, bro.
and then we'll come down, and then we'll come after, and we'll say how the sets went. Yeah, or I'll come back on while Sam's on stage.
Yeah.
How much time are we at now?
We're only at 40, so I would
No,
say
we're good.
Come back after your set.
Oh, by the way, can I plug something?
Plug it.
New special, July 9th on Prime Video. You've Changed. Sam Morril comedy special. Proud of this bad boy. I hope you love it. Watch it. Tell your friends. Use it to get laid. I'll do the work for you. I'll grease the wheels. You don't have to make her laugh. I'll make her laugh. Then or vice versa. If you want to get a guy horny, or two guys, or two dudes and a midget. I'll tell you. How about we'll do back to school. I see you, him. I see him here. What's with the midget? I can't do it. I'm drunk. I'm sorry. All right.
This episode of Chrissy Chaos is brought to you by Bilt.com. For us renters, I am one of them. Do you ever feel like you're stuck in this loop of rent payments, just watching your money vanish into thin air? It's time to turn that rent game around and start earning some serious rewards. That's where Bilt Rewards comes in. People often throw shade on renting. I get called a bad investor all the time, calling it a bad long-term deal. But if I told you that with Bilt Rewards, your rent money isn't just paying the landlord, it's secretly plotting to fund your future dream home, wouldn't you love that? They didn't finish the question there. I ad-libbed that last part. Bilt is breaking ground as the first rewards program that hooks you up with points on your rent. Even if you're still rocking the old school rent check vibes, Bilt Rewards has got your back. They'll mail the check for you. It's like having a personal rent-paying assistant. I mean, how important is that going to make you feel? Every month, pay your rent and watch the Bilt points roll in. Use points to jet off on a dream vacation. Put your points towards a flight or hotel stay with 500 plus airlines and 700,000 plus hotels and properties. I gasped for a moment. I had to take a beat just because that was it seemed like too many, but it's accurate. Use your points to sweat it out. Redeem your points to book fitness studio classes. You can also use your points toward a future rent payment or toward a future down payment on a home. This is amazing. We've all felt like our rent is just dissipating into thin air and providing us no real reward outside of, shelter, in terms of just, building towards a future. This allows you to kind of, start doing that. Pay rent hassle-free through the Bilt Rewards app. Your rent game just got a major upgrade. Bilt points have been consistently ranked the highest value point currency by the Points Guy and Bankrate. Earn points by paying rent right now when you go to joinbilt.com/chaos. That's JOINBILT.com/chaos. Yeah, sorry. You could cut this last part. I was confused. Joinbilt.com/chaos to start earning points with your rent payments today. I'm dumb. This episode of Chrissy Chaos is brought to you by Magic Mind. This is near and dear to my heart. I love Magic Mind because I no longer drink alcohol. I couldn't handle it. So socially, I'm looking for something to sip on. I don't want to be a weirdo, I don't want to be the guy at 11 p.m. at some sort of function holding a Dunkin' Donuts iced coffee. Like, I can't handle any other stimulant. So instead, I do Magic Mind. It eases the vibe. It's a stress reliever. Makes my brain fire a little bit. Makes me automatically a little more interesting in conversation. Some might say I should drink it before recording this podcast. But guys, Magic Mind is fantastic. They're America's fastest growing shot, mental performance shot, I might add. The Magic Promise, they refund 100%, no questions asked, if anyone doesn't like it for 100 days. It's clean energy, natural ingredients without the excessive amounts of caffeine, so it's no crashes or jitters or anything like that. Just a nice, smooth ride to the top of the mountain and then a kind of a nice little toboggan jaunt off. It's not just a steep decline into a sad evening. But some of the best surfers in the world, Koa Rothman and Nate Florence, they've talked about it on their pod. Rogan has talked about it. People are digging it, and they have a limited offer you can use now that gets you up to 48% off your first subscription or 20% off a one-time purchase with code CHAOS at checkout. You can claim it at magicmind.com/Chrissy Chaos. That's MAGICMIND.com/Chrissy Chaos. 48% off your first subscription or 20% off a solo order if you just want to try it out. Either way, do yourself the favor. Try out Magic Mind. You'll be David Copperfield socially. That's not their official motto.
Dude, this is so good. I really appreciate this, Nicole.
Nicole, it was so thoughtful. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Nicole.
Thank you.
That needs a job.
Huh?
He needs a job.
Patrick Ewing needs a job?
Yeah.
What if Patrick Ewing plays my dad on a show?
Are we rolling?
I love it.
Dude, that was a great crowd.
Dude, great crowd. And then Sam had a great genius idea. At the end of all these co-headlining shows, we're going to talk about some current events, and then we're both going to end on like one of our favorite one-liners or past jokes. So you come to a show of ours, if you're a fan of ours, you're going to hear at least one of our old bits at the end of the show. Or if you're a fan of mine, you'll hear 90% of the same material because I haven't been writing.
You were writing.
No, I heard how that ended. That was great.
Dude.
I remember that bit. That was a classic.
I know. It's one of those ones like I'm happy like I have a bit like that, but it's also like I wrote that bit in 2011.
Yeah. How did it feel telling it? Did it feel weird because you had to just recall it on that spot?
Well, so it's weird. So it's a bit that I have that I ended my half-hour special with in 2014, and I have not told that bit in 8 years, not once, 8 years. And then I was doing shows in England 2 weeks ago, and I just blanked out, jet lag, whatever. And I was like, I got nothing. And I did that bit. And so when Sam was like, just do like a quick one-liner, I was like, well, I kind of did that bit 2 weeks ago. And I was like,
sometimes the best is being put on the spot. We were joking in the car. Gary, James, and I were driving up here earlier, and what was the Elmore Leonard line that James quoted? He goes,
the gun.
He goes, the man does his best work with a gun to his head.
Yeah.
There's something about being put on the spot on stage where you're just like, bam, that's a fucking bit.
Yeah.
But, you know, you nailed it. You crushed.
What do you think, by the way, I'm sorry if you've spoken about this on We Might Be Drunk, but about Reddick coaching the Lakers. What's your feeling on that?
I wouldn't want that fucking gig. I'll take a little more whiskey, sure.
Yeah.
Did we kill this bottle already? Are we fucking animals?
Bodega Cat,
we were talking on the way up about Reddick.
Yeah, I just think
he has a certain amount of confidence that he might get him through it. I think it was a good move by Hurley to say no.
Yeah, I think that I think Hurley is where he belongs. But I saw LeBron's opting out of his contract. So did LeBron not? I feel like the Lakers are not going to hire Reddick without LeBron's approval, right?
I mean, they podcast together, right? I mean, it's fucking hilarious that like podcasts are so weird because it's not like back in the day. It's like you were a broadcaster, you were on NBC or ESPN or whatever, and now it's like, I'll do a podcast with fucking LeBron.
Yeah,
and I'm now his coach. If I were Reddick, you know, guys had a ton of success, so what the fuck would he listen to me for? But I mean, like, it seems like this guy could make a media empire,
dude.
But he's such a gamer. It seems like he wants this challenge.
They gave him the NBA Finals too. So he had the NBA Finals. He looked good. You know, he looks good on camera.
Dude,
he's charismatic.
Dude, JJ Reddick went in. I forgot what year it was. Maybe it was 20. Whatever year he was playing on the Nets, and then he got traded to the Sixers. I lived in his building. So I lived in JJ Reddick's building. Obviously, JJ Reddick lived on the fucking penthouse. I lived behind the security desk.
You know, he used to fucking commute from Philly to New York.
So let me tell you. So that's the building I lived in. So I lived in his building.
By the way, that's how shitty Philly is. Suck it, Philly.
Yeah. So anyway,
I like Philly, but their fans went so hard at me on Twitter after that playoff series. I have to.
Yeah. So he goes. So I'm walking in one day. And I see him in the lobby, and he's talking to like like the doorman about like a package or something, like wait for this package or whatever. And then the guy says to him, he goes, I thought like since you got traded, you would have just moved to Philly. And he goes, nah, man, never break a lease. That's a rule.
Oh my God.
And I was like, all right. So I was like, what does this guy have? 2 months left. So he was driving. No, he wasn't. He was taking the train.
Yeah.
Amtrak. And which actually isn't bad. Isn't like that bad of a ride.
Like what, 90 minutes or something?
90 minutes. And
I think it might be like a little over an hour because 90 minutes is driving, and the train on the Acela, it's quicker.
And that building we lived in was a block away from the Barclays Center. So you can jump right on the train right there.
From Brooklyn. And that could be an hour.
Yeah.
That's
Man, he also, I just have respect for Reddick because he came in the league and like he had all this hype from Duke and he wasn't getting shit minutes in the NBA and he kind of worked his way into it. So I think that's it's cool when players like build themselves up and he did that. So,
Dude.
And I listened to his podcast back in the day and he's like an interesting guy,
Yeah, and he's got a fucking handsome guy.
Yeah.
Would you
if he could podcast,
would you let him stick your tongue up his ass?
Yeah, I would.
I fucked that up, you know what
I would.
So if he could,
I've had a few drinks.
If he could podcast his way into a fucking coaching job, like what do you think you could podcast your way into?
What can I podcast? If he could
podcast his way into a coaching job, what could you podcast your way into?
I could podcast my way onto tires with Shane Gillis.
I don't know about that, dude.
I gotta get Tommy Pope. I'm coming for you, Tommy Pope.
I feel like Tommy already nailed that, dude. I feel like they're good with the cast going forward.
Tommy Pope, handsome. Tommy Pope's my JJ Reddick.
Yeah,
He's a handsome dude. Tommy
he gets
Pope.
a little JJ Reddick vibe.
He does look
right
like if JJ Reddick dies, Tommy Pope can play him in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty solid.
Why does he have to die?
I don't know. What was I going to say?
Because he broke his lease.
Dude,
are we going out tonight? My girl said I could go out.
Real? I thought we were literally. By the way, I didn't know what our plans were. Chris and I were talking on stage to the crowd. I'm like, "We're going out tonight," and he's like, "I got to go on the boardwalk with my kids," and I was like, "You fucking pussy!
Yeah.
Come on."
No, so Vito and John have been doing a good job of reading Jazz. They genuinely think Jazz.
That's what they're actually here for.
Jazz has been saying, "Go out, like go out with the." You can go out, but I thought she was saying it like how a girl was like, "Go out, I don't give a fuck, go out, do it." But she's not. They're reading it as she genuinely wants to go up to the room and go.
I thought
to
she
sleep.
was mad when we were podcasting a second ago.
I mean, I think
she
she
came
wants
back in
to.
the room and came back in and did it.
Because when we finished this first half, it seemed like she was mad at you, and I'm not as good probably at reading women as they are. We got a crew over here of women readers, but like I read that as like you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Wait, play back the tape.
Well, I think
Was
that
she
she's
mad?
getting annoyed that because it is very difficult to deal with two, especially Violet. It's my older one, Delilah, is 9. She's kind of just on YouTube, like dancing a Benson Boone. But Violet is like running around trying to run on stage, like so it's
Yeah.
difficult.
By the way,
to,
if she wanted to come on, I was all for that. Yeah, I hope you didn't not bring her out because of me. I thought that would have been hilarious.
Oh, the kids?
Yeah.
I do, but Jazz, it's weird. Jazz is like, some days she's like, I don't care, but then some other days she's like, I don't want one of your creep fans looking at our kids.
Yeah.
I didn't think our fan base felt that creepy.
Well,
That
I
was
think
good.
that-
They're pedos. I get it.
Yeah.
But by the way, we got to leave at 9:30 because my wife's a little mad. We gotta
Oh,
get,
shit.
I got to get back.
You fucking pussy,
She's
dude.
just a little mad.
Is your wife here?
No, thank God.
Yeah, clip it.
But we're dealing with the same thing because we got a 4-year-old and then the 18-month-old, and he is just all over the place. The 4-year-old's
Yeah.
a little bit more manageable, but she's just like pulling out her hair. She looks
Dude.
like me, actually.
Yeah, dude. And then it's hard for Jazz too because like, you know, my 9-year-old, you know, Delilah's 9, Violet's 3, and then Delilah's pro-Israel, Violet's pro-Palestine.
That's tough.
So that's tough to deal with
Down
as
the
well.
middle.
And
Yeah.
then Patty Clips is one that made my daughter pro-Palestine because he's a big Lebanon fuck.
Yeah.
Big Leb.
I noticed that.
They call it Big Lebanon.
I know. I feel that Patty hates us ever since all that stuff went down.
dude.
So-
He's pro-Lebanon. He's pro-Palestine. dude.
Patty hates me, dude.
He does. Yo, Parry, you mad at me?
No, I love America.
Dude, what's James Webb doing?
Yeah,
Dude,
what
he's
is
He's
James
in
Webb
Chicago. He
doing?
doesn't want to come back.
Dude, I know.
He hates New York, dude.
By the
I
way,
convinced him
James
to
Webb
move to
kept
New
fucking
York.
up the edits on my special because his fucking keyboard are full of his tears.
I've never met someone who wanted to live in New York so bad and just shit on it continuously while they're living here.
Oh, really? So he told me he's miserable here. It's tough too when you convince a guy to move to New York and then they're clearly miserable. And you're
Yeah.
like, I built it up. Like, I love New York.
Sure.
But how much different, really? I mean, New York to Chicago is a pretty close.
It's the same thing.
Nah, it's not. I mean, like, just cost of living, Chicago's like, New York is wild compared to Chicago. Chicago, you could get like a fucking beautiful apartment for
Yeah.
what you could get like for like a studio
It's
in
true.
South Brooklyn here.
I mean, you look at real estate in Chicago because I'll follow some of those, like, they just pop up on my phone, like real estate, and it'll be like,
Guy who's moving to Chicago.
But you look at it's like, you see these beautiful old buildings in Chicago.
Yeah.
You know, like, it is a great city.
Do you ever
But-
feel like a townie?
What do you mean, in New York?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
I'm a
'cause you're-
townie.
You're, from the
Yeah.
city, you're also from the Upper West Side, right?
I'm from Upper East Side.
Okay.
Chelsea, then Upper East. But
So,
I can't.
pussies.
Can you drive?
I just got my license 2 years. I leased a car last week.
You don't know, you can't drive?
I have a license, but if I were in a car with you,
Oh,
dude,
he's a terrible
you'd make
driver.
me pull over.
It'd be bad.
I'm a bad driver.
You gotta get.
you
gotta
drive
get
with
better.
both feet?
I suck, dude. I'm a bad driver.
He's a bad driver.
Well, I leased my car last week, and I'm genuinely afraid to pick it up on Monday. Like I've been,
Really?
I've been kind of ghosting my dealer.
It's all
'cause-
about confidence, dude. Just fucking fake it till you make it.
Just
You're
do it.
good.
You're driving a
Yeah.
Nissan Rogue. Those things probably drive.
Guy who crashes. It's all about confidence.
By the way, when I said fake it till you, I was kidding. That's not a real thing.
I learned to drive. I drove before, but I really learned to drive during the pandemic because nobody was on the road. So I would just drive into Manhattan and do those sets that we had to be behind
Wait, but
glass.
didn't you grow up in Long Island? You don't know how to drive?
I didn't have a father.
Check out his podcast.
This guy won't stop plugging. No.
He's a plug machine.
I always throw it back to him.
Yeah.
But I didn't learn to drive. And then I was in Queens and I didn't drive. And in college, I didn't have a car. And then I moved to Queens and
Yeah.
didn't
The thing,
really
I
need a
didn't
car.
like.
But then I had a
I
family.
didn't drive growing up in the city.
Then
Like,
have a
when are you gonna
yeah.
drive?
As soon as you have a family, though, you're like, I'm gonna need to get these people to places. I can't
I can't take
always
my
call-
3-month-old on the bus.
Right. so I had to figure it out, and there were some close calls.
Yeah.
I paid for driving lessons from a guy named Mr. Carlos from Hawaii Driving School. He has no relation to Hawaii whatsoever. And because I also didn't have a dad, I found myself just like really wanting his approval and like telling him about things going on in my life. Yeah.
But wait, so you...
What is this thing? I didn't have a dad podcast? What is this shit?
Wait, you took driving lessons like recently?
Dude, I took driving lessons in 2022.
I can't even imagine you in a car. You're too big.
Dude, it was a tiny little car too. My 6'8" friend, I recommended him this. He got into the car and he was too big, and the guy drove away. Said, "I'll call you back," and never called him back.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Damn.
Mr. Carlos, Hawaii driving school. I literally do. I would get in the car every weekend, like when I would do a bad job, and he'd be like, "Oh no, that was a bad turn." I would
Justin Timberlake drives better than you.
But there is something about driving. You need that independence. Don't you just want like something? You get out of town and just feel so trapped,
Dude. I mean,
Yeah,
yes.
but I also you could do that on a flight or on a train or whatever. Like, and by the way, I don't leave New York much. I'm on the road constantly, and I've taken like 2 vacations in my life. One was, really close to the city, and the other I went to Europe last year, but I was doing gigs. And I just turned it into a vacation.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get away.
Sam's depressed.
No, I'm not.
Bodega Cat.
Bodega Cat. All right, guys, I got to go back to my family. Thank you guys so much for coming on the Chrissy Chaos podcast. Check out Gary Vito's podcast about his dad called Number One Dad, which is out right now. We Might Be Drunk with Sam Morril and Mark Normand.
New special.
Yeah, new special.
Is on July
July
9th. You've changed, Sam Morril. You've changed.
That's it.
You've all changed.
Absolutely.
I'm really upset with all of you guys. You used to be different, man.
I know.
Love those jerseys.
Thank you, man.
No, we look pretty cool, I think.
We actually really do look awesome.
I'm
right
a little
now.
drunk.
Yeah?
I mean, I was at fucking the bar before the shows, dude. I was with Gab and the crew.
Man, you should have a family.
I got to get a family, dude.
Yeah, you got to get a family. Man.
Actually, tonight's the night I think you drive.
Is this the end of this pod? Is just a wake up call?
Yeah. Intervention.
Gary's on the phone with his wife. He's like, yeah, Sam's career is going well in some ways, but it's just sad.
Yeah.
It's just sad.
I'm like, we're not coming back at 9:30.
Yeah.
We're not gonna do it.
Dude,
Wait, you're leaving tomorrow morning at 9:30?
We're leaving. Gary wants to leave early, so.
Yeah, of course.
Is this a dick move? He said 10 a.m. Sunday morning. I said, I could do 10 a.m. Then as we're driving, he goes, 9:30. I'm like, no, you can't do that.
Yeah, I can't do that.
You can't fucking do that.
It's not me. I don't call the shots
It's
on a
not you.
Sunday.
I call the shots, motherfucker. I'm the motherfucker who calls the shots around here.
You might be taking a bus.
All right, folks. I'm out of here. Later.